What's up, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of the GMB Boxing Championship podcast, and we had a doozy for GMB Boxing Championship number 5. Holy fuck, boys. Did we lose a lot of money?
Yeah.
We lost some money.
Well, some more than others.
I lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Kyle, too.
I lost 80 bones.
Kyle was sitting pretty like halfway through the day and then just lost it all in like 2 games.
Hey, listen,
It
that's
was
the way
insane.
gambling goes.
You lost. You had 120 left on the table to be able to bet. You bet 40, lost. Bet 40, lost. You had one more bet to go, and you go, with my record, I'm not even going to bet.
Yep.
To be fair, that BBOGR versus GameBiz, that match, that sucked. Because I would have bet the same thing. I would have went GameBiz as well. And BBOGR surprises with that. Let's go through the top 10 real quick because everything has changed in the top 10. We'll start with number 1. Alerted Furball was our number 1 champion. He won a tournament way back in the day. I believe it was GMBBC number 2.
Yes.
He was number 1, but he stepped down respectfully. He said, hey, guys, I've been working a lot. I can't show up on Sundays. I'm sorry. I got to step down, and I got to give it to my man, the Coochie Lord, who is our new number 1. That means everybody moves up a tier, but we had some movement in the bottom portion of the list. So, Coochie Lord, he's number 1. Benny Boy, he's number 2. Our top 2 guys, both Bloodhounds. I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
No.
Definitely not. So then, Nexus Radiant was supposed to fight this weekend. He didn't make it. He let me know. He said, hey, man, I apologize. I just completely forgot about it. My B. That's okay. Totally fine with that, as long as you let me know. But I can't hold your number 3 spot for you. I had to move you down. So Midas is now number 3, and I don't think he's undeserved of number 3. He's a decent fighter.
Midas has been going hard at it ever since he got into the Grab My Banner boxing. And I think he trains a lot more than a lot of these other fighters, and he really tries hard at trying to be good at this boxing thing.
So it's a well-deserved number 3. So our top 3, Cooch, Benny, and Midas. Nexus drops down to number 4. He really didn't drop at all. He was already number 4, so he kind of stays in his exact same spot. Then we have BBOGR. Baby Ogre is in the top 5. That means on the Instagram post, he will be on the first page. I didn't think we would ever see Baby Ogre get here, but he's worked hard, and his picks, his pocket picks that come out, are fucking disgusting. That Miraji pulled out was insane.
Yes, he has the Rampart for any like regular fight, but he just has these random ass pocket picks that he just pulls out of his ass and fucking wins games.
And he gets them, man.
He gets the W's.
Them. I mean, it's insane. So we have Baby Ogre here. He's sitting up there. We've got Cookie at number 6. Now, Cookie, we'll talk about him later, but he pulled out one of the most insane picks I've ever seen. Lost me 100 bones. That sucked. Then we've got Chicken Wing sitting at number 7. Maddox, our most supportive member of the Grab My Banner 100%. Club when it comes to the Twitch. He decides, hey, you know what? I haven't boxed before. Let me hop in there. One of the greatest counter punchers I've ever seen in this fucking game.
Like crazy. He was just like, he would like bait people. They would throw a punch. He would dodge it, and then he would just jab people right in the face.
It was incredible. And he was using Pathfinder, who not a whole lot of people use Pathfinder. They'll use him once, and then they kind of go away from it. He used him all the time. And let me just say something. I wasn't sure I was going to get the Scablander skin for Pathfinder from this event. When I saw him out there doing what he did, he indirectly made me buy the skin because he looked badass. He just looked insane. That was the best marketing I've ever seen. Apex, give Maddox some money, man. Then we've got Tokieer at number 9. I've got a blog out there. You should read it. It's called I Hate Tokieer. Seriously, though, what the fuck? I'm messing with you. He's still a good fighter. He just got a little bit rattled. We'll talk about him in a second. And our number 10 spot is wide open. And somebody at this table thinks he can take it.
I don't think I think I can take it. I'm looking at the lineup. The other competition off the top of my head that can go into it, I'm thinking Ellen Cryptic, Sniper Goated, Farty, our new up-and-comer, Farty Butts.
Farty Butts.
Hilarious name, by the way.
We also have Flappy Balls. We'll talk about him later.
What?
You didn't see Flappy Balls in the chat?
No.
It was Flappy Balls.
That's great.
Chat.
We had
The
a dude named
dynamic
Flappy
duo.
Balls
That's hilarious.
in the chat.
The other one that I think has a legitimate chance to get in, I've boxed before, would be Nick Mick's content, but he hasn't been able to show up for a few weeks. I'm not too worried about him. I realistically think that I can take any of these guys, and after what I saw from Tokieer, I think I can take Tokieer. I think I can work my way all the way up. I think fairly all the way up to Baby Ogre. If I really was able to make that push, it would take a few weeks to be able to climb. But I think I can go from 10 and climb my way up to Baby Ogre, and then I'd start seeing trouble once I get past Baby Ogre.
I think.
Are you trolling or?
Are you really trolling right now?
No. You got to remember, I've boxed Baby Ogre. I beat him. I've boxed Cookie. I beat him.
Holy fuck, he's serious.
I've boxed
This
Maddox.
dude is serious.
No, I haven't boxed Maddox. Maddox is new.
Maddox will fuck your shit.
I haven't boxed Maddox. Maddox might climb with me, but I think me and him can both climb. We might actually hold each other down in that lower spot a little bit, going back and forth.
I think Maddox might fuck you up.
Brian has beat 5 and 6.
I beat 5 and 6, and to be honest, I've gone against Benny Boy. Coochie Lord fucked my shit.
Dude, Coochie Lord just told you in 5 seconds.
Not only
Lord
listen, you have to understand.
You.
I've gone against Benny. I've gone against Nexus.
Yeah.
I've fought with these top fighters. I helped train some of these other top fighters and former champions that we've had. I think I can make a run for it. I really do.
Now let me say this. I think you're a fantastic coach. I think you're one of the best coaches that we got. We've got a few coaches out there now. We're talking about Schmazzy out there. He's been training somebody on the low. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but I did it anyway. Schmazzy's out
the
here
guy
training
that's too
people.
afraid to even step into the ring is training somebody.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
I would not want that.
Troy, I wish you were on Twitter so you could have seen the controversy that took place on Monday because there was some tweets being thrown around. Lots of stuff going on with Schmazzy.
Twitting.
Lots of twitting.
There was some twitting.
Lots of twitting. So Schmazzy's out here training people. He said he's trying to take Midas under his wing. Brian, you're a great coach. I don't know if it translates to the field, though. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying convince me that you can.
You might be a better coach than a player.
Here's my thing. I've taken players already to the number 1 spot.
Yes, alerted for a ball.
Alerted as my my prize champion. I'm a big fan of Benny. I don't think he needs my coaching. Benny's up there. I don't think he needs my coaching. That being said, I've never said that I'm going to be up there. I just said I got slaughtered by Coochie.
Okay.
I haven't had the chance to actually really go at it with Benny. I don't know how I feel about Benny. Benny would probably be able to beat me. Midas, I'd love to give it a shot against him at some point. Not 100% confident. Nexus, I think that's a fair fight. I think I've already beaten BBOGR, and I've already beaten Cookie. I can do it.
Okay. Now let me say, what is your number 1 goal, I guess? What is your goal here? What is your main goal?
This week?
No. Not this week, just for your boxing career, because you said you probably can't get number 1. What is your goal?
I want to be top 3.
Okay.
If I hit top 3, I'm happy. Top 3 is my immediate goal. Obviously, once I get there, it's me. I always want more.
Okay.
So I'm going to shoot for it. But right now, my goal is to crack that top 5, and then I'm shooting for that top 3.
Okay. All right, so Brian's sitting here. He's not ranked right now, but he's trying to get into that 10th spot. You're going to have to make some call-outs on Discord. Got to do that. The only one who responded to me that you named was Sniper Goated, and he said, I want it bad. Now, Sniper Goated...
Sniper, you ain't getting it. I've seen you fight. You ain't getting it.
Ooh.
Listen, I've watched you fight. I've seen what you can do, and I've seen the holes in what you do, the flaws in your play. This is what I do, is I look at talent, I assess it, and I critique it.
I'm pretty sure.
And I'm going to exploit it now.
I'm pretty sure Sniper Goated was the one who kicked you off the life.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Again, I've seen him. I've experienced it. And now I'm going to exploit it.
Okay.
Ryan, you're going to have such a better chance if you play Bloodhound. I don't know why the trends are not being acknowledged. Number 1 and number 2. What do they play?
They're both Bloodhound.
They both play Bloodhound. Now, looking down at 3 through 9, nobody else mains Bloodhound. The top 2 guys in our league are the ones that don't mess around, and they know how to use that Bloodhound ult. If you were able to take that on, I think that you'd have a much better chance of being in the top 10.
Bloodhound is very straightforward. Like I said, I also enjoy the coaching aspect of this. And to do that, I need to understand how all the characters and all the legends play within the game and interact with each other. You saw me pull out a lifeline strap. That was shocking to a lot of people.
Yes.
I have made some amazing Pathfinder plays.
Yes.
I've done some very good Mirage plays.
Yes.
I've had some very good Horizon plays.
Not as much.
Not as many, but I have. I developed the strategy with Octane, who was our second number 1 champion, and actually beat out the Bloodhound by being able to outlast and sustain.
We haven't seen very many Octane since.
I find the counters to what people play, and I show people how to do that. That is what I've done.
That is very true. You have created the best strats. You have also run into the fence more than any person I have ever seen in my life.
Not in the past 2 weeks.
that doesn't make me feel any more confident. That does not make me feel any better.
The only thing that'll keep me from that number 10 spot this week is the fence.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. That the fence is
Honestly,
your worst enemy.
the world is Brian's oyster. There's just an electric fence in front of it, and he's got to figure out how to get past it.
I already figured it out. It's called heavyweights, and Gibraltar shield blocks the fence.
Okay. All right, so that's our top 10 list right there. Let's get to some of the storylines that happened this week, and let's start with the biggest one, the one that hits closest to home, which was Tokieer absolutely flopping on me in the biggest fashion of all time. I want you guys to understand, like, the blog I Hate Tokieer, it sounds like that's over the top. That's like the dude, that's crazy. You bet 100 bones out of nowhere on a guy, and he just didn't win the fight. That happens sometimes. No, that is not what happened. This dude must have messaged me, DM'd me directly 7 times this week. Bet 100 on me. Bet 100 on me. Bet 100 on me. Bet 100 on me. Hey, I heard you on the boxing podcast. You said you might bet 100 on me. Fucking do it. Bet 100 on me. This dude messaged me 1,000 times. Then he would go to things like this. Wyatt, I promise I will not let you down. I won't let you down. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So when I say I hate Tokieer after what he did, and honestly, if he would have, Troy, look at me in my eyeballs right now. If he would have went down as the Wraith, I wouldn't feel as bad.
I was about to say the same thing.
I wouldn't have felt as bad.
It was the fact that his sports psychology was so weak, his mental fortitude was so weak, that after one round of a bad loss, he completely abandoned his entire game plan. There's no excuse for that.
No.
There's no excuse for that.
And you can make adjustments. You can do all that. First of all, let's talk about round 1. He puts the portal down. And let's not take anything away from Cookie here. Cookie pulled out the Revenant. We've never seen anyone use the Revenant, let alone in the top 10. Yeah. This dude's fighting for a spot. According to Tokieer, he'd been training with this guy using the Revenant for a while. So it's not like this guy just randomly pulled it out. He's been working hard. Cookie's been putting his time in, working hard with that. They were talking mad trash before the fight started, too. And I think Cookie got into his head. So he pulls out the Revenant. No disrespect to Cookie at all, but Tokier's portal in that first round was atrocious.
Terrible.
One of the worst portals I've ever seen.
You can't go back. When you make a portal like that, you can't go back through it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's the whole thing.
If it's a trap portal to where you're trying to throw people into the fence, no.
It's not. I don't know if he meant to go back through it.
So there's actually one strat that I picked up from watching the Revenant that I never thought about. Because when he drops that totem, he was teleporting outside of the circle.
Mm-hmm.
The best place to have that is on the wall side, right, where you can easily get back in real fast. Mm-hmm. The other thing I want to say is you can activate that totem from a decent distance away. You don't have to be right up on it. You might be able to set that thing actually outside of the fence and force the teleport of them, if they try to use it, into the fence and make it very difficult and very dangerous for them to use your own death totem.
And also, on top of that, I mean, what if you had it more centered towards the middle of the ring? Say you lose your life and you go back to the totem. They have to make the tough decision whether they want to push you or not from their corner. Let's say, for instance, the other one puts it over in that corner. If you're fighting in a corner and it's more centered, they have to make the decision of when you go back, if they're going to rush you and try and hit you or not, or if, as a Revenant, you can dodge that and go back and hit them again. So it really comes down to how you play it. Cookie played it to a perfect level.
I want to throw out having the Revenant, being able to get that extra, almost like a respawn, which it essentially is, controlling the middle of that ring becomes so vital.
Yeah.
It becomes absolutely vital, and being able to plant that in the center at any time could be absolutely huge.
Well, the thing that Cookie did that I thought was like an amazing way to play the Revenant was he dropped the totem, activated it, and then he defended the totem because he knew that no matter what, as long as he does more damage to the person before they get into the totem than he starts out with, he's already at an advantage.
Yeah.
So he just had to play his game where he just dropped the totem, and then he's like, okay, as long as I do more damage to him before he kills me while I'm in the totem, then I'm at an advantage.
So then Tokieer in the second round, he loses that first round. He decides to switch to the Revenant. He does the exact same strat, except when he gets punched out, and that really could have gone either way because, say, for instance, Cookie takes one more punch. He goes back to his totem outside of the ring, and he has to walk back in. Unfortunately, it was Tokieer. Tokieer gets hits back. He was, I think, one punch away from getting him back to
He jumped
Cookie
into
back.
the fence.
Yeah, so he teleports back, and he goes into the fence, loses life there, tries to get back in, but, I mean, Cookie baited it perfectly, and it was all over, and 100 bones were out of my pocket just like that. So it was tough. It was a very tough fight. I believe Troy had money on Tokieer as well.
I only had 5 bones.
Troy had
I
Troy
had 20
5.
bones on Tokyo.
If I had more, I would have bet it all. So I got lucky. It was just fate.
So that was a tough fight. Let's also go to BBOGR, another storyline. He had an impressive win over GameBiz, who had been holding that number 3 spot for a pretty long time. And BBOGR, they decided to have an exhibition match. And when they had that exhibition, Baby Ogre comes in here and fucking dominates that fight. It was a 2-0 victory.
Yes.
What a fight. I mean, that's why Baby Ogre, he's got, like Brian said, I want to get to the top 5. I think I can take Baby Ogre. I've beat him before. That's 100% true. But Baby Ogre's gotten really good. He's gotten a lot better. Not to say Brian can't beat him, but, I mean, Baby Ogre's put in the time.
Mad respect to Baby Ogre, what he's accomplished with fringe characters on top of it. Mirage and Rampart. Like, no one else is really using those. If you look at this top 10 list, no one else uses that. The times that people pull out of Mirage is they're trying to do something fancy or like something that
trying to trick somebody.
It works at the lower levels, but it doesn't work once you get higher. You tend to struggle against Bloodhound, essentially, and you can't get past Benny and Cooch.
Yep.
That being said, BBOGR, Bloodhound might have an issue with this Rampart.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to see it yet. If he's able to climb past the horizons, which Mirage can climb past the horizons,
we've seen it.
Yeah, he's in a position where he might be able to do something that's unprecedented just because he has that Rampart in his back pocket.
Yep.
And Baby Ogre is one of my favorites, and I think the reason for that was demonstrated really well in this open fight hour leading into the main matches, because Baby Ogre took, if I remember correctly, 2 tough losses and was still hungry. He wasn't leaving the Discord. He wanted more fights immediately. He was disappointed in himself, but he was ready to go. Yes. And he came back and he performed. And having that mental fortitude is what it takes to get to the top. You're not always going to win.
I want to say
but you keep going.
I want to say the fight right before that. He actually lost a really big fight right before that against Midas.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that was him losing to Midas. That's a tough loss. But coming right back and actually taking out GameBiz, who's GameBiz is no slouch of a fighter. He is a legitimate fighter, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
So Baby Ogre loses the opportunity to make it into the top 3, obviously, with that loss to Midas, but he comes back and takes on the dude who was 3, and he wins it. So, I mean, Troy, that's exactly what Troy's talking about. He's able to bounce back. And there's a lot of people in here who don't have that ability like we saw. Tokieer, he's a fantastic fighter with the Wraith. He still has to figure out how to work through those emotions on some of these fights and get through that. Let's finish the show off with your Fighter of the Week. It doesn't have to be the best one. It just has to be somebody who caught your eye. Let's go Fighter of the Week. I'll start. I want to go with Maddox.
Damn you. That's me too.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah, so Maddox he surprised the shit out of me, man. I mean, this guy, he comes into the Twitch every single time. He's always there whenever I'm streaming. All the time, and he's always gifting subs, like helping out, talking to people. He comes in here, and you'd think, like, okay, well, this guy's just, he helps out with, the stream. No, he's more than that. He is a great boxer, and I can easily see him making the top 5 when we hit Grab My Banner Fight Night number 6, or Boxing Championship number 6.
The nasty dodges that he pulled out on people and made them just look like bitches on the stream was the most amazing thing to watch.
It was. Yeah. It really was.
And he had the full Pathfinder drip, gloves, and the new fit and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Brian, Boxer of the Week for you.
I don't know. I want to start out. I don't know if Maddox is going to be able to climb 3 or 4 spots in a week, but I think the top boxer for me has got to be Cookie, that Rev pick. That was something we haven't seen, used in a way that we haven't seen it, and he played it smart. He played it strategic. I respect it. I like it.
Troy, Boxer of the Week. You can choose Maddox if you want, or you can pick somebody else.
I definitely have to say Maddox. Counterpunching is probably one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite, fight style that I've seen. in the ring, and he executes it better than anyone else. And so I'm super excited to see him get even better and move up the ranks and fight the better guys, because I would just love to see, you know, our top 2 bloodhounds actually getting dodged and actually getting baited into being hit first. Because if you can make a bloodhound in his ult miss, man, you're top tier. And I think Maddox has the potential to do it.
I feel that. My fighter of the week is definitely going to go to BBOGR, because one thing that we all talked about here is you need that mental fortitude. And after BBOGR taking a couple tough losses, still came back and, you know, beat GameBiz in a 2-0. It's not like
that's right.
GameBiz even won a game, you know. And I think that, you know, coming back with that mental fortitude, knowing, you know, I could get this. I think that's one of the most important things as a fighter, is like knowing even when you take a loss. Like a while back, Coochie Lord took a fat loss to
Jimmy Creepers.
To Jimmy Creepers and Alerted Furball. He lost to both of them.
That was a rough 2 weeks.
That was rough, you know. And Coochie Lord, instead of being like, man, fuck this, I'm out, I'm a bad fighter, whatever, he still fought, and he fights hard every single time. And now he's top dog, and he's well deserved top dog.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten to see Coochie Lord fight in a little bit for the main event, but he had one open fight hour fight, and it lasted all of 4.5 seconds.
Well, the first one, he pulled out some random pick, and then we were like, okay. And then he switched to the Bloodhound, and then
he lost the first round.
He lost the first round, but the second round, dude, you could just see the difference between that poor kid and Coochie.
Dude, and honestly, like, that's what I love about this boxing championship league, is like, when you see a guy like Coochie Lord, the number 1, turn it on, it is the funnest shit to watch, bro. Like, when he punches somebody into the fence and just roasts them, it's the best.
I think that was a prime example. Like, I think it was Benny Boy that ended up fighting Ellen Cryptic. We keep going back to the same fight, because Ellen Cryptic was dominant in the open fight rounds. And he goes, give me one of the big guys. I want to see how I compete. So we go, Benny, he goes, yeah, I'll do it. And he jumps in the ring with Benny, and it was outclassed.
Slaughterhouse.
It was outclassed. It was like watching essentially it was an unranked fighter fighting a belt contender. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's it. It's nothing against Ellen Cryptic. Great fighter. Still a great fighter. Can still make waves in the bottom half of this tier as it is right now, or the bottom half of these rankings as it is right now. But he's got some work before he gets to that, to be able to see those guys that can actually land those shots. Because Coochie, Benny, I would say Midas is looking like he could as well. I haven't seen Nexus in a little while, but he probably could as well. They can not only counterpunch, but they know their characters. They're solid on their characters, and they exploit the advantages that are given to them.
Yeah. All right, so that'll just about wrap it up for the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to watch the main show. The Grab My Banner podcast, episode 20, is out now, where we talk about, we have an interview, I should say, with someone who leaks, to get all the information on that. Check out that episode. It's a fun one. And don't forget to follow us on all the social medias, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. We're all over the place. If you're listening to this podcast, you've already been to Twitch, but go ahead, follow us there. Check out everything. Do we have anything else to go?
What about the website?
Oh, yeah, and we have the brand new website. I forgot to plug it on the actual show. We have a brand new website out now. That's where you can find the blogs that I wrote about Tokieer. We'll be linking that in the Discord, linking it on all the social medias as well. So go ahead and check out the brand new website. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, but bear with me. We're getting it all figured out. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.